is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Kate. Good to be here on the podcast.
Yeah, I love being here. And it's also a really safe space because we can talk about things here that perhaps we can't talk about on air,
that's true.
live on the radio. And so we're going to flesh out a bit of a story today about something I got busted watching.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when I was younger, my dad walked in and I was watching something on my laptop and he said, I didn't know you were into sort of the grandma type. And I said, no, they're photos of Tom Ivy.
Oh, what a pity.
And
What are you doing?
he said, all right, well, that's more disturbed than I thought.
I'm so sorry, Tom.
No, my daughter the other day was walking with my wife and my daughter yelled out I said to my wife, oh, look, there's Dad. And as they got closer, they realised it was a
grandma, was it?
It was a grey-haired old lady. And my
so
daughter was mortified that she'd identified me as a 90-year-old woman.
So she wasn't doing the same
No, she wasn't doing a gag.
She wasn't doing a joke.
She wasn't doing a joke because that would be insensitive.
Yeah, but it seems pretty consistent. So any reference I make to you looking like an old grandmother is not a joke I'm trying to make. It's just a similarity.
You know, you don't look like
but
an
you
old
do.
grandmother.
Your daughter thinks you do.
He actually doesn't.
Don't you think so?
Thank you.
You do.
What about in that cardigan?
No,
Yeah.
maybe in that cardigan,
Yeah.
but then all the other times.
What
no.
about with my skirt on?
Well,
and your shopping trolley? Okay, all right. You're not really.
And his cataracts.
Oh, how we laugh!
yeah, we laugh so much.
Right there.
All that fun and way more about something I was watching that I wasn't meant to be on the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Recently passed away. Age 53.
What a great song. We should play the original, Tommy, by Dream Academy, Life in a Northern Town.
Oh, that is a great song.
A great song.
Rest in peace, Dario G.
Yeah, and to the G family.
I'm not sure of his real name, but lovely chap. Whew, TV last night, interesting to see. Do you want to live forever? Oh, it's a terrible time.
Yep. Ahead.
What a segue.
Sorry.
Dario G has passed away. Great song. Did anyone watch Do You Want to Live Forever last night with Tracy Grimshaw?
That's why we did have
Tom,
the
you
chat.
told me
No, I had
to
the
mention
chat.
that Dario G was dead.
Going into the song, and
Sorry.
don't tease that
You
you're
said
talking
you're
about
dead.
living forever next. That's why I did. I said do that at the front.
And now I just look like a criminal. Look like I didn't care about Dario G.
Well, you do, and rest in peace, Dario, and
That's
thank you
what
for the gift of music.
Well, that's what I said earlier.
Well, now you want to talk about living forever.
Well,
so.
Dario. Did you know Aussies, right? Okay, I'm going to jump to another study and then I'm going to come back to Do You Want to Live Forever? So that's probably the best way to do it. So that's Radio 101, Tom. I'll talk you through
I'll
it
edit
after
it out.
9.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're live, are we?
Yep.
Okay, so this study has come out. Good news, Fitz. Good news. It says they did a survey of over 5,000 people and the happiest age of your life, get this, is just after the age, or should I call it your early 50s? So you and I, buddy, are just warming up. I knew it all along.
No, it couldn't be,
Yeah,
could
they
it?
spoke to 5,000 people who were over the age of 70 and asked them to reflect on their life. And consistently, they said the early years after you've passed the mark of 50 is the best time of your life. Explaining that you now know yourself, you have life experience, you understand satisfaction, and you have wisdom. Well, you'd hope.
You've
I've
also...
got a bit to go.
Around the age of 50, you usually have teenage children, so I cannot see how that can be the greatest times of your life.
And they also said 9 out of 10 said they felt stereotyped for being a little bit older. But that doesn't matter. They said they believed that was the most fun. I think the idea is, Fitz, that you're right. You do have the teenage kids.
Yeah.
The responsibility of the upbringing isn't as heavy as it was in the earlier days. So they've got a bit of independence, which hands you the independence back. So you have another shot at life. Like you, mate. You talk about when you're a little bit older, you just want to travel.
Yep.
And when your kids are 18 plus, see you later. Fitzy's chasing the sun, man.
No, you've got
That's
to
you,
wait for
man.
them to move out of home.
No,
The
you
unfortunate thing is that kids now, they hang around.
Yeah, don't wait. I mean,
Yeah, they're not moving out of home straight away. That's the hard thing. Yeah, no, I think you start to... It is funny, I was thinking about this the other day, that you start feeling comfortable in yourself, I reckon, definitely in your 40s.
Yeah.
You're still discovering yourself in your 30s. Still a great time, don't get me wrong, your 30s are amazing.
Yep.
Because you're a bit more established, you've got a great job, you can look after yourself a little bit more, but you still haven't worked yourself out 100%. By 40s you have, haven't you?
I was talking to Ted on the way home from footy training about this. We were talking about one of the guys at training, and I said to Ted, you know what, Ted? I just don't think he really knows who he is yet. And that was my description of somebody. And then Ted said, well, why is he so old and he still doesn't know? And I said, because I think in your 40s you know who you are. In your 30s, you're right, you're starting to learn it. And he's 9 years old and he said, well, my name's Ted and I'm 9, so I know who I am. And I went, okay, well, there's a little bit more to life than just your age and your name, but I appreciate the confidence. Okay, now let's move on to this show. Do you want to live forever? Trace was in here yesterday, Tracy Grimshaw, the host of the show.
Right,
and it was good because they went through sort of the biological age of everybody and then the actual health of your internal organs and your physical ability and where your cholesterol, where your fat levels were at, where your stress levels were at, which was a big one, Fitz, that continued to play into it. And then they were able to give you an age of what you're really at. So let's say they had Eliza on the show. She was 37, but she had a true body age of around 43, I think it was.
Right.
Anyway, they looked at diet, they looked at intake, and they had Duncan Armstrong, the swimmer, on as well, and they looked at what he was eating because he had a heart attack, but now he's back into his fitness, which is great. And then they met another guy, and I want you to listen because I think the doctors advise you need 2 alcohol-free days a week.
Yep.
And 12 standard drinks a week. That's kind of the given.
Okay.
Let's have a listen to how this guy's going.
When it comes to alcohol, 35% of men exceed the guidelines for healthy consumption in Australia. Enver managed to down a total of 83 beers in 2 weeks.
I just want to talk a little bit about the amount of alcohol that's here.
I mean, that's just the Aussie culture, you know what I mean? You work all day, but then have a beer, you know what I mean?
You don't just have one beer, Enver. You're having a good 6 to 8 a night, mate.
Oh, that's full on. Do you know what? And I think it has changed now, alcohol. The drinking culture, I remember growing up, every single weekend, our parents, we would on a Friday and Saturday go over to somebody's house.
Yep.
And I think as young men, we felt like you had to start drinking way before you were even the legal age.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's completely changed now. I think young people now aren't drinking. I think drinking's looked down upon a little bit now, and it's not as... The drinking culture has definitely
I think
changed
it's
in this country.
And you know what? The fastest growing product in the market is 0% alcohol.
Sugar. Yeah, alcohol and sugar as well. See, that's the other thing. Yeah, but see, then they're exposed... Young kids are now exposed to, you know, there's drugs out there and other things as well. This is the other things that we have to worry about with our kids, but... Yeah, God, it's if you're coming home from work every night and knocking off 6-7 drinks and saying that that's the drinking culture, you're in a bit of trouble.
You are in a little bit of trouble. I mean, now that I'm starting to think, though, after finding out that in your early 50s is your prime, mate, you need to get your body back in shape and hit some of those podiums you used to. You need to head out to the clubs again, mate, and do what you used to do. Illusion shakers.
You don't have to go to nightclubs.
Yeah, you do.
51 doesn't mean you're at your prime for nightclubs.
It does, mate. It means you're back out there and life is the best it can be. Yeah. Sharpen up, 50-year-olds.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Well, I had a little bit of time off the radio.
Did you? What?
Yeah. Well,
a couple of months, mate.
No, it wasn't. It was a week. And a few days.
A little bit more.
It was a week and a few days, and I know you missed me, and it's nice to be back. But as a result, I was on a plane for a period of time during that break, and there's nothing better than getting on the plane and knowing that it's just you.
Oh.
And you know, some food in foil and
turn your phone off.
As many movies and reading as you want to get through.
Could you stretch out, Kate? Have a bit of a kip, lay down full length.
I did have a little full length kip. But can I tell you something?
Congratulations.
I'm really worried. On the first leg, right? I slept for like hours, right? The whole trip.
Wow.
And then you were getting back on the same plane, right? After the stopover. But the guy that was sitting next to me, he wasn't sitting next to me for the second leg, and I thought, oh, he must have got off at the stop and he was like breaking up the trip. But no, then I saw him somewhere in the airport, and I knew I was snoring, not that, when you can wake yourself up sometimes. And I thought, maybe that guy asked to move.
Yep, because you're kind of a nasally person.
What are you talking about? Don't you claim to know whether I snore or not?
I don't know whether you snore,
don't.
but I can tell you what, when I'm sitting next to you in a movie and it's really quiet, this is what you can hear.
No, it's not.
Heavy, and you also said when you fly, you get bad wind.
I did.
So I'm thinking this guy said, I tell you what, drag me to economy if you have to. Just get me away from this thing.
That's not even what this story's about, but I do think that he was moved or he moved himself. And then there was another poor guy, and I thought, oh, but I didn't sleep.
You weren't known.
I didn't sleep as much.
You went from Sally Fletcher to Sally Flatulence on the flight.
Can happen.
I spread it round though. I like to get up and walk and do the old crop dusting.
Oh, the crop dust.
Anyway, second leg, it was time to watch something, and so I thought I should watch something that's that everybody's talking about and it's brand new and just get ahead of the trend. So I decided to watch Saltburn. Okay, I don't know how old that is now. Maybe it's probably 12 months.
Doesn't matter.
Actually, do you know what? This has happened to me before, where you watch it because you don't know this is a new movie, you don't know what's coming up, but there are certain scenes where you actually, when something's happening on your screen, you look around to see if anyone else is seeing you watch that screen.
Yeah,
Kate.
and one of the ladies who was bringing me a tea or something.
Yeah.
I just got a sense that someone was standing at my shoulder for a little while. Then she gingerly put the tea down and just smiled knowingly at me. I thought, oh my God, because of course I'd heard about Saltburn, but I didn't, and I knew there were the two, there were a couple of, what about that scene?
What about that scene, yeah.
Something to do with a bath and then something to do with something else.
And a graveyard.
And yes, that's right. So I just felt incredibly busted.
The scene at the end?
What scene at the end where he's dancing?
He's completely nude.
Well, that's a spoiler because there's a lot of people who haven't seen it yet. Me and one other.
Okay.
But I have to say, I don't think, and I don't know if this says something about me, I was like waiting for the bad bit.
You didn't think it was bad?
Well...
You didn't think the bathtub scene was... I had to physically cover my eyes. Shutting them wasn't enough. I had to put my hands over my eyes and I nearly vomited.
No, you didn't. Grow up.
No, don't grow up.
But
that's terrible.
Okay, when you know what's at the bottom of the bath, it's understandable. But if you've just walked in on that scene, you'd have no idea what's going on.
No, but I was watching it and I didn't. I was like, was this the bit they were talking about where he just kind of lovingly...
What does that say about everyone?
Everyone has their own fetishes.
The plug hole.
If that's your thing, then by all means, go for it.
But I just didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, it's bad. So, I mean, you're really just showing where your level of okay is. I mean, I've never learnt more about Kate Ritchie in 30 seconds than right now.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're trying to shock me, it didn't. I was, I've seen plenty of thing in my time.
Well, I watched Black Swan on a flight once, and there's a scene in that with Natalie Portman and another lady that's quite full on that I had to stop. I had to stop during the flight because I was so embarrassed. You think other people, you think everyone on the flight knows that you're watching that scene, you dirty little man.
Even at the tender age of 44, if I'm sitting with mum and dad and there's an intimate scene on the TV...
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
It's still bad. It's still awkward. And I can tell you the silence will be broken by mum making a comment because it's so awkward.
What about your father?
Look, they're Randy, aren't they? Oh, look at them.
John, that takes us back.
Well, I think it's best to acknowledge it.
You don't need to acknowledge it.
It's not awkward. If you're
that's
sitting
hard
in
and
a room
fast.
with someone who you've come out of their body, like let's be honest.
Yes.
Well,
We've all been there.
Okay, I shouldn't be saying this.
Go on.
But when I first moved to Sydney
Here we go.
as a young man, 21 years of age, and I lived with Jude Bolt and Heath James,
here
and
we
I
go.
thought they had extra training sessions on. Anyway, I may have been at home by myself watching something. Now, this
is making me more uncomfortable than the bath scene.
Go ahead, mate.
I have never moved quicker in my life, right? So I ran straight into the bathroom, right? Turned the shower on quickly, and then I waited 30 seconds, turned the shower off, came out of the bathroom with a towel around and I said to the boys, "Oh God, you're back early from extras," and they're laughing their head off, and I forgot to turn off the television.
Right.
So I thought I'd got away with it.
On.
And they were like, "Oh, there's Christine."
Sorry, mate. You're suggesting as a young man, Fitzy was watching a video with my mum.
No.
But it must have been another movie.
Is that embarrassing though amongst
Do you know what happened?
young people like that, or is it like, oh,
Do you know
welcome
what
to the
happened
club?
Happened to a friend of ours. Tommy, you just give me some sort of signal if I'm stepping over the line.
Okay,
here.
sure.
So they're married, and she said, "I'm going for a run," and she left.
How did this turn into this?
And then she came back in to find him, and then she was furious at him. So Lisa and I were having this conversation, and I said, "You've got to understand, because I think their intimacy had died a little bit." And I said, "You've got to understand that there is a difference between intimacy with your partner and the world that he has had since probably the age of 13. They're two separate things.
No,
So
they're not.
one does not reflect." How you doing, Kate Ritchie? She's got her head in her hands. One does not reflect the level of maybe breakdown over here, and they don't react equally.
Yeah, but
if one dies, one doesn't exist over here separately because of the death of that one.
Yeah, but you still have to be upset that
That's
your partner's
another
doing
world.
Well, do you think you
No,
do?
I don't care. I wouldn't care at all.
I think it depends about the finer details of it. I don't think as a human act, I don't think you can be angry, but I think that if it's complicated and it makes them, it's disrespectful or it's, or it's something, I don't know why.
I mean, if you're at
this.
a bus stop, Tommy,
Yeah, it depends
then
where
it's an
you
issue.
Yes.
Now you've got a warning over that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yes.
Very, very stern talking to by everyone on the bus.
Well, it's a good way. It's a good way to get a seat on the bus, Tom, isn't it?
Everyone got off.
You want to clear the El Nani. That's how to do it. So,
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Anthony Lehman, Lemo, great man, beautiful man, great comedian as well. We spoke about this, I reckon it would have been around about 3 or 4 months ago, when Lemo was on a cruise ship doing a comedy show. Now, he was allowed to bring his family with him, his beautiful wife, Kel, and their son, Laddie. Laddie's 9 years of age, I reckon, 8, 9 years of age. Now, the guy that was organising the cruise, while Lemo was up there, Laddie was yelling out a couple of things and said to the guy that organised the cruise, said to Laddie, "Have you got a joke? Would you like to come up, young man, and tell a joke?" Yeah. They filmed this and it went viral. We played it back here on the show, Kate, but it went so viral that he was asked to go on Today Extra yesterday with David Campbell and Sylvia Jeffries.
Okay. With the child, Lemo and the child.
Lemo and Laddie. So Lemo and Laddie went on Today Extra yesterday, and this is just a great moment in live television because, the topic that we want to do this morning is what the kids said that they shouldn't have. And if you've got a story, 13 24 10. But this is what happened yesterday on Today Extra.
What were you thinking? Did you have the jokes ready to go?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because we'd practiced a few jokes, hadn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. But
And delivery.
you told your favourite one on stage, didn't you?
Yes.
What's that about?
Oh.
Go on.
Just Brian shitting his pants.
Okay. So I didn't realise he worked blue. I didn't realise he worked blue so early. It's an over 18s event.
Sylvia's
next
lost it.
Sometimes you can't rehearse.
I was
What a
losing it.
moment.
Just
Brian,
that
who's
moment.
Brian?
How
It's
funny.
Now I want to hear the joke.
I want to hear the full
though.
joke.
well, actually, it might be in the system there, Jess. We might be able to track this down.
He was just being honest, though. The kid, what's his name? Laddie.
Yeah, laddie.
He was just answering a simple
Yeah,
question.
I mean, he's done nothing wrong. He's used his honesty. He's done the right thing.
Oh, it's just one of those moments where you just, as a parent, you have to laugh, don't you?
That's a great moment.
And we did get some great calls on this. Kate, you brought this up recently. And we got some great calls on what the kids said that they shouldn't have.
In Coles with my daughter, she was about 2, and I dropped this humongous fart, and I tried to escape the aisle before anyone walked in, and then my daughter very loudly proclaimed to the next person who was walking around the corner that my daddy farted back there.
Yeah.
We were introducing ourselves to new neighbours, and my son came over and we thought he was just going to introduce himself, and he goes, "Oh, my dad's penis is this big," and used his hands. I was proud of him. He really gave me a good rap.
My son, he's only 18 months old, so he doesn't know many words, but he definitely knows what a big hairy huntsman looks like. And we were in the bath the other night, and he just pointed and said, "Spider!
Spider!"
Spider!"
Tommy, what happened to you in the supermarket? What happened to Inga, your wife, in the supermarket the other day?
Oh, no, she's in the checkout yesterday at the Woolies, and she accidentally dropped like a bag of bananas on the ground, and my 2-year-old said, "Pick them up, you loser," to my wife in front of 10 other people.
James in Leppington, what did your kids say?
Morning, guys. We're at a family event, and there was a gentleman there, a dark-skinned gentleman who was a friend of my parents, and I introduced him to my son. I said, "Tom, this is Mr. White," and my son let out a bit of a giggle and said, "Don't you mean Mr. Black?"
Okay. You can see the innocence in it, though.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. He's just seeing what he.
What was the reaction of Mr. White, James? Did he ever chuckle himself?
He took it well, but no, I didn't take it well. I had to make a quick exit.
I would suggest it wouldn't be the first time Mr. White has heard
That's
that.
what I was thinking. He's like, here we go again.
Yeah, I understand. We're playing opposites.
JJ in Paddington, what did your son say, JJ?
Well, we were in Westfield shopping, and my son needed to go to the bathroom, so we went into the female bathroom. He was about 2.5.
Yeah.
And after he'd had his turn, I had my turn. And, of course, they're fairly quiet environments. Yeah. And he turned around and said, "Hey, Mummy, why is your willy so hairy?"
Yeah. That can happen. It's a great question.
Needless to say, we stayed in there for a fair amount longer.
Make sure it cleared out.
Until it cleared out.
You stayed in there until 6 o'clock after the place closed.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Jojo slept there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, the cleaners are knocking on the door. You're going to have to come out, lady.
You're going to have to bring that hairy thing out. We all heard it. Jojo, great call. Thank you so much.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Well, the US Open finished up yesterday. Rory McIlroy, the poor bugger, he hasn't won since a PGA championship since 2014. He's regarded as one of the best in the world, Kate, but he can't finish off. So yesterday he was leading, and all he had to do was a 3-foot putt. Now it's bugger all, Kate. It's not very far at all, right?
3 feet.
So
thank you.
The statistics show that he's nailed his last 496 putts within 3 feet of the hole. And his 497th he missed, and he lost the US Open to Bryson DeChambeau yesterday.
Over 3 feet. Just because of
it was under 3 feet.
What? Because of 3 feet.
Well, he choked.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. He just called off his divorce. So he filed for divorce, and then he realised how much she was going to get, and went, "Oh, we can make it work."
Oh, is that why? Maybe they just realised that in the heat of the moment they made some bad decisions, and that they really do.
I wasn't there.
Bryson DeChambeau, he won the US Open. He's massive, right? To the point, like, he is huge. His muscles, Kate, are unbelievable. He hits the ball harder than anyone else, but it's questionable his heart. Now, I'm going to show you an old clip has resurfaced from a couple of years ago where Bryson was walking through a golf course at a tournament and someone didn't lift up the rope. Can we start playing that? Just someone didn't lift up the rope enough and his head gets taken back by the rope. Have a look at his reaction
He stopped the knee.
His reaction. Then he snatches the towel off his caddy. And it's like he's been shot.
I know. He's embarrassed, though. This is a grown man embarrassed who's lashing out. It's worse than Djokovic at the tennis there where someone dropped the water bottle.
But can I just read out some of the comments?
Yeah.
So people have written, everyday golfers put themselves on the line. The dark and dangerous side of golf that no one talks about, ropes.
But hardly got him.
And then someone said, what did the autopsy say that the official cause of death was? Someone wrote, did they catch the rope that did this? Someone wrote, I twisted my ankle running to the comments.
Very good.
The only balls present were in his golf bag. This was equal to childbirth for this man. And this is my favourite. The rope later gives a string of apologies. When asked if the rope was bothered by the encounter, he said he was afraid not.
There it is. There it is. One of the greats.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I just got a text from my mom.
Yes, because I'm a textpert, an expert at texting.
Write my reply.
Sometimes you need a bit of help. Sometimes you need someone to break it down and go, what does this really mean? When you're at the start of a relationship, particularly, you're choosing every word so carefully, aren't you?
Well.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You're looking at it going, will she read that the wrong way?
Flick him, get rid of him. That's my advice.
Flick him. Gone, done, dusted, you're out. Let me explain the situation here. So there's a couple that have started dating, Mia and Sam. They matched on a dating app a few weeks ago and have already been on a couple of dates.
Is Sam a man?
Sam's the man.
Okay.
Sam the man and Mia.
Sam's the man. Sam I am.
Sam I am. Mia is really...
I Am Sam with Sean Penn. Now that's an emotional movie as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Good movie chat. Yeah. Is Mia a lady?
Mia is of a female type.
Okay.
Yes. Not that I see gender in 2024. Mia is really keen on Sam. And after 3 dates, wants the next one to be a bit more special. And has invited Sam over for a Sunday roast with the family.
What?
However, Sam's response has her a little concerned that he doesn't want to meet her parents.
No.
Meeting the parents is a significant stage of the relationship.
And a Sunday roast is even bigger. That's a huge family commitment.
Yeah, that's like everybody's gathered round for the moment. It's
and
like
do
the
they
opening
usually
ceremony.
have a roast, or have they just all of a sudden decided
Great
to have we're a Sunday roast family?
Yeah.
We need to present well.
I think he'd rather have meat and 2 veg before he meets the family.
Do you know, I went to...
I'm not even laughing at that. That was so lame.
I started to go out with a girl and we went to like a destination wedding, but her mum and dad were there too. And when I got there, she said, everyone's coming over for a drink. I said, that's great. So they all came round and then I realised the whole thing had been sort of organised, and it was like a meet my new boyfriend. That was me. Because I didn't know everybody there.
And so the wedding was organised for you?
No, it was her friend.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Did they plan the whole wedding just to get you there?
No, I don't think so, but certainly the drinks was organised.
And was that hard for you when everyone left bitterly disappointed?
Didn't last too long after that. Anyway, so here's the reply. This is from Sam.
We haven't heard the text yet.
Huh?
Did we?
You're about to hear it, mate.
Oh, you said here's the reply. Sorry, I'm confused.
A Sunday roast sounds delicious.
Delish.
Sunday might be tough. The boys were wanting to go to the footy. Maybe drop into mine afterwards?
Oh. He doesn't want to go, but he's actually thrown out a booty call after she catches up with her parents.
Oh, don't put facts in the story, Ryan.
That's what he's done, Kate. Let's be honest.
He's just thrown out. He's like, it's not that I don't want to see you. It's just I'm not I don't really want to do a Sunday roast. And also, in all honesty, maybe he did have plans for the footy. When has she thrown out the roast invitation? Because if this is anything beyond a Tuesday, well,
Footy's
sorry,
planned.
it's done. It's
I
planned.
think the point Fitzy's trying to make is, I think the natural order would be getting to know each other a little bit more special before he meets the parents. And I don't think that's happened yet, is kind of what I'm reading here. If he's keen on getting to know her a little bit more, he might think that the parent meeting takes place after that.
Of course.
Well, can I just throw... A Sunday roast usually happens with a family, usually about after, I'd say, minimum 4 months of a relationship. They've only just met on a dating app.
Yeah, but maybe she doesn't... maybe the idea of a Sunday roast with the family is something that they've been doing for years, and it's actually not a big deal. And in the past, people come in and out of the environment. Like, you know, my friend Jenny's going to come this week. Yeah, sure, she can bring a dog if she wants, like all of that stuff.
Jenny's
right?
going to bring a dog?
No, but what I'm saying is that there's no pressure. There's no pressure around the roast for Mia. Whereas for Sam, he's from a family who never had a Sunday roast, and he's had an ex-girlfriend who pinned him down on a
Is the dog there?
No.
Do you know,
No,
Kate,
this is weird.
You know what I mean.
Sunday roast. A Sunday roast
Signifies something
signifies
bigger. Okay.
a significant meeting of the table, like the Last Supper, and it signifies an all-in. So it's like if Mia has brothers and sisters and their partners, they're going to be at Sunday roast.
Well, Vanessa's given us a call. Can we go to Vanessa in Cherrybrook because she thinks he's in the wrong, Ness? Is that what you think?
Well, it's a shame. This poor bloke might be nervous. In my culture, very traditional.
Yeah.
Sunday roast is a big thing, like you said.
Okay.
He could be nervous, thinking the dad's going to pull him aside and start doing the talk.
Yes.
That's what my dad would have done.
Well, that's the thing. The dad might pull him aside and say, "How's it?" and then want to know more.
Ness, tell us, was your old man, was he pretty strict like that with your new boyfriend?
Oh, he was the worst, and he was a lawyer.
Oh, no. Yeah, that did...
A South African dad being a lawyer, you need to be scared.
Oh, how's it?
Run a mile.
Yeah, that is a shocker. So the other thing is, too, I agree with Fitz where he says maybe drop into mine afterwards. He's not even making the effort to suggest maybe I could drop over and meet you guys after lunch. I'm sorry, I've got the football commitment. You know, I'd love to show my face after lunch if that would be okay. He hadn't even suggested that. He wants to go to the footy and have a skinful and come home and hope she drops in.
Yeah.
For a bit of how's it going?
No, it's not.
Look, I think she should let it breathe a little bit more, find out more about the relationship before Sunday. So, like, they've only just met on a dating app. Minimum 4 months before you get a Sunday roast.
What if honesty came into it here?
Yeah.
And he was
let's try a bit of honesty.
Let's try some, Kate.
Oh.
And let's say, what if he was to reply with, the Sunday roast sounds delicious. I'd be nervous to meet your mum and dad at this early stage of the relationship.
I want a chance to get to know you a little bit better first.
Oh, well, I can finish my own sentence. Yellow card. I'll explain it later. So
that was teamwork.
I would like to get to know you before I meet your parents, is what I would write.
What roast would get you there? Pork belly?
Pulled pork.
A beef wouldn't get me there. A roast chicken wouldn't get me there. Yeah, a lamb. Yes,
chicken.
Kate.
Lamb.
Roast chook maybe if you had an oven that did like a quarter steam.
Yeah, that's true. So would you write back? Sounds?
So I need to check what kind of oven you have. Sorry, is that me finishing your sentence or is that my own
Don't
thought?
snap at me again. You haven't been back long and you're already snapping. So should he write back just to confirm, can I check your brand of oven? And would you consider lamb?
Yeah. Are you a bean family or a pea family?
Right.
Because one or the other.
Do you do gravy? Okay. Are there any cold sides?
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Something I would like to discuss, and I don't want this to turn into an argument of any sort, so I'd like this to be constructive. Kate, our relationship I would describe as a roller coaster.
Why are we doing this here?
You were so positive about my hair for so long. You were going, no, it's good, grow it.
Yeah, because I know how sensitive you can be.
Taken so much medication to get it to this point.
Yeah, you spent a fortune on that rug.
fortune.
Doesn't matter if there's meds involved. Let's just talk about
Are you
this.
really taking meds?
No.
For the rest of his life, he has to.
Who
Kate,
knows?
unless he
Really?
goes bald.
I certainly don't have to, and I'm not certainly going bald.
Well, you have for the last 10 years.
It's an insurance program.
It's
For what?
For what?
For my hair.
No.
It's beautiful.
But doesn't it affect other parts of your
No,
body when you take that stuff?
Everything
Yeah,
else works perfectly.
his shoulders.
Well, now it's winter time. I would suggest I'm the warmest person in Sydney. But Kate, you
Good one.
Thanks, mate. How's that radio morning book going?
That was a great gag.
So, Kate, you were so positive, and then on the morning
Because
of,
I'm a positive
yeah,
person.
on the morning of our singles ball, you looked at me and went, "Needs a cut." And I was like,
because
how
it-
would you do this on our night of nights to suggest I needed a last minute change, which I could not coordinate?
Yeah, it was quite nasty of me, wasn't it?
I was broken.
No, you weren't. I just noticed it at a particular angle, I think, on that day. And I knew that you wanted to, look half decent for the singles ball.
I tried.
And if you went with your current do, then that MJ Bale suit would have gone to waste, really, wouldn't it?
Okay.
But I support you on your haircut. I didn't know what you were trying to do, and I didn't know if it was like grasping at youth or
I'm a naturalist.
maybe Lisa likes it. There are so many elements as to why you try out things that don't work.
Where are you,
But yeah,
Where
hang
you
on.
going with it?
Well,
Where are you going with this, mate?
Then when you walked in the other day, because you'd been away filming Home and Away the movie.
That would be a great
Sorry,
movie.
I wasn't meant to say anything.
Thrown away the movie.
Anyway.
That would be amazing.
It's got everyone in it.
Is it?
Anyway, so I walked in and you said, "Come on, that's enough. It needs a cut."
I think it does need a cut.
And then you said, "I'll cut it." And I went, "You're not cutting it." Then over the weekend, I kind of thought to myself, maybe I should let you cut it.
Over the weekend or overnight?
Overnight. So then I thought, well, there needs to be, if you're going to enjoy the freedom of cutting this beautiful hair, which is absolutely sensational, then you're going to need to achieve something so there is some level of effort reward. Now,
No, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
trying
have
to help you.
I don't have to do
You
anything
want to do it.
win the opportunity
Yes,
to
you
put
do.
my fingers through your greasy locks.
Now, I saw a video. Can we send this to Fitz, please?
Yeah, it's on your phone now, guys.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll have
Okay,
it.
On
Richie.
my phone as well?
You look too. Because I thought if you can achieve this, then I give you free reign at my hair.
I can achieve this. I'm
I
actually
want you to
not
look at this video.
committing to do. Is it on Instagram or text?
Mayhem.
Most balloons burst. Oh, yeah.
So this guy-
All you got to do is sit on them, Kate. Sit on the balloons on a chair.
So this guy has popped.
It's going up now on our Instagram too.
He's popped 50 balloons in 30 seconds, bouncing up and down on a chair.
I'm not doing that.
You got to
I'm not doing that.
You got to be careful putting your hands in there, don't you?
That would be the danger.
But I need a
'Cause if-
very, very quick and a very quick team.
So, I mean,
Because this is basically
it's teamwork.
It's
So
yeah.
if you can imagine the shot we're looking at is from somebody from behind in a see-through chair, so you can see through their chair, so you can see their bottom going
a
up
wooden
and
chair,
down.
quite an old school, school chair.
And then there's a person on either side, and they're feeding balloons under the bum of the person going up and down.
And that person's basically just doing squats.
Yep. And there's a 50 balloons in 30 seconds.
We're not filming a video of this and putting it
The
on
other
the internet. I'm
element,
just
the other
saying.
element to it is that you have to wear what Katy Perry wore in her latest film clip.
All right. So Tom,
I've got it on under this.
So I think 8:30 tomorrow. The challenge
Hang
is
on,
set.
I haven't said yes. We don't have a chair and we don't have 50 balloons.
The balloons are on my desk.
Find that in your morning radio.
Don't worry, Kate. Even if you do get the world record, Tom won't organise someone from Guinness.
Yeah, the paperwork will be substandard.
Still angry about the hug muncher.
Still the hug muncher.
Well, are you up for that, Kate?
Smashed it.
8:30 tomorrow.
But my legs will get sore doing that.
You've got quite the powerhouse, as you say.
I don't say that. Someone else said that.
Referred to
I don't-
your glutes as the powerhouse.
I've got strong legs. I do have strong legs, but I don't think that's what's going to get me over the line.
Well, it depends if the up and down can be coordinated with the balloons going underneath.
I just somehow this feels like I'm
success.
being tricked for something I don't really care about.
Kate. The best thing about this, you get to cut his hair, mate.
Yes.
Think of that. Now think of mullets, think of Billy Ray Cyrus, think of...
Anything
So, Kate,
you want.
go for the world
Hang on.
record, and then we're allowed to cut his hair any way you want.
Okay.
And I would say, first of all, we shave the sides. That's the first thing we do.
Well, it will
Leave
be
the
up to
length at the
Kate.
back.
That's if she can pop 50 balloons in 30
Mate,
seconds.
No,
you wait till my house will be popping off tonight.
No.
I will be practicing.
She attempts the world record. No, and then she attempts your haircut. So we were all attempting. No, she doesn't have to get it.
Yes,
she attempts
hey,
it.
when did you start setting the rules for my idea?
Yeah, this is excellent. And if you have any suggestions for said haircut, please send them through to us.
If the record is broken.
No, mate.
Yes. Kate popping up and down on the spot very aggressively after 8:30 tomorrow.
I don't know. I'm not paid enough to do this stuff, mate.
That's great.
Fits in Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.